Hey, fatty! It's time to blow the whistle on this carnivore diet nonsense. A high-fat carnivore diet is heart attack city! Get real! Okay, we knew this was going to happen, man. Okay, more and more people are having heart attacks, strokes. They're basically their coronary artery calcium buildups through the roof. Okay, did you see Dr. Klitz's CAC score? It's insane high. Insane. Luckily, he's not so dogmatic that he's trying to change his diet. Said he's still eating a stupid amount of oil. Lose the butter, Klitz. Okay, you gotta clean your arteries out. There's only one way you're gonna clean out your arteries after all this carnivore abuse. The carnivore diet's a disease. Okay, you got a bad case of carnivore. Okay, it's like literally it's a disease. You're sick. You caught a bad case of carnivore for the last few years. Your arteries are getting clogged. Like, obviously, when you got that much fat in your bloodstream, of course it's going to thicken your blood. Why do you think I got away from coaching that shit? Okay? Especially, like, man, prolonged periods, like, it doesn't happen overnight. Okay, people are like, oh, my, everything looks good. I feel great after, like, a few months. So? Get your head out of your ass. Then you got Baker over here, man. These carnivore MDs are scared out of their wits. Okay, they are scared shitless, baby. Okay, there's even a lady that got a hold of me that's got a channel called Carnivore Doctor. Okay, she's eating carbs and got the fat out. She's menopausal, losing weight like crazy. Losing weight like mad on a low-fat diet. And when I say low-fat, okay, people like run with that. Like, I'm not saying you gotta eat 2 grams of fat. I'm just saying lean meat, whole food carbohydrates. Then you got Baker over here, man. These guys are damage control city now, baby. They're on the run. Okay, they're on the run, soon as, especially when Klitz came out, because he's been doing this shit for like 15 years. Okay, steak only, so great, isn't it? Till your arteries can't breathe. Till they're clogged. Okay, you gotta pick the lines, baby. You gotta pick the lines of that low-fat diet. All this high-fat diet bullshit for the last 30 years is a complete crock of shit. A crock of shit. Okay? Not to mention, especially that carnivore diet protocol. Okay? What I used to push, still I do not push this anymore, but originally, if you listen to guys like Mark Sisson, okay, Mark Sisson, when you're talking low-carb dieting, the protein's gotta be through the fucking floor. These guys just literally hijacked the ketogenic diet with their stupid, shitty macro split and cut the vegetables out. Heart attack city! Stroke city! Fucking face hanging down your ass crack. What did Sisson used to talk about? Same shit that I pushed when I was pushing low carb, which I didn't push low carb like it was a religion. Okay, it was a tactic, but it was always crazy low protein and vegetables. So your blood sugars when you're on a high-fat diet in that situation are rock bottom. My blood sugars when I used to do that shit were like in the low 3s. Okay, we're talking in the 60s all the time. Because the protein's rock bottom. These stupid carnivore jackasses, they literally took a keto diet and screwed it up. And even that keto diet, okay, it's useless. There's no adherence. Okay, that's for epileptics, which are probably going to die if they don't do something because they're going to shake themselves to death. Okay, that's the way it used to be. That was a therapeutic ketogenic diet. We're talking 10% protein, very low. So what happens is the blood sugars are rock bottom. They got to be rock bottom. Soon as you got normal looking blood sugars in the presence of a high amount of dietary fat, carbs or no carbs, heart attack city. Heart attack city! Man, it's like, you know, if you take the standard American dog shit diet eating fast food, okay, what's the first macro you're going to try to avoid? Fat! Fat! So what changed? What changed? How did it become don't avoid the fat? Because it's bullshit. Because there's nothing but money in that stupid high-fat grift. Then you got Baker over here. Okay, somebody sent me a video of him going on damage control today talking about cholesterol. These idiots will still push these crappy dog shit studies to try to make it sound like cholesterol 9,000 somehow healthy. Are you out of your mind? Okay, there is a healthy range, idiots. Okay, yeah, these stupid jackasses move the goalposts around to try to sell you statins. It doesn't mean that a cholesterol 9,000's good, you dummies. You ever notice all these stupid zero-carb carnivores? They're all red. They're all red. Okay, what makes a red man red? Eating steak all the time, then you're in heart attack city. Non-stop steak diet, which is exactly Baker's stupid-ass reset protocol. Just eat steak. And it's stupid anyway because the adherence is nothing. It's zero. It's dumb. It's stupid, Baker. Like, why are you even doing that diet, Baker? Get real. Baker would have 20 million times better results because he has top-tier genetics if he ate a clean fucking diet. Lean meat and carbs, you idiot. I know for a fact he's lost muscle since he's done this shit. But he had muscle to spare because he's a monster of a man. But even on the stupid carnivore diet, he still was as high as like 270. When he was eating his dirty diet, he was like 300. Stronger and younger. People put him on such a pedestal because he's got crazy genetics. What a waste of genetics. What a waste. Baker could be shredded, jacked like a jackrabbit. Instead, he's slow as hell. His cardiovascular conditioning's a joke. He does these little stints and impress you stupid, mediocre jackass followers of his. Okay, that he's going to give a heart attack. And you're all impressed. Ooh, Baker. Like you're an idiot. It's actually funny. There's one thing that I actually agreed with Baker on that he said about exercise. Because of course, he redirected from the crazy high cholesterol. And he said, yeah, obviously weight loss is important. If you're fat, you want to get weight off. And you want to exercise to get the blood flow up. Okay, that's going to be good for staying out of heart attack city. The funny part of that is, what do you think gives you the best performance, Baker? A low-fat diet with carbs. That's what's going to give you the best blood flow, you idiot. So if we go down that road, saying that exercise is critical, what diet gives you the best performance, hands down, highest VO2 max, low-fat diet, carbs, lean protein carbs? It's nothing new. It's nothing new. Okay, these guys are straight grift. They've been making money off desperate followers for years. Okay? Sean Dad Bod Baker, Ken Dad Bod Berry, causing heart attacks and strokes since 2018. Get like people are that brainwashed with their religion. You'll jump off a cliff, God forbid. You'll jump off a cliff before you would actually admit that the stupid diet that you keep trying to do and restarting every day, day 1, day 2, because this diet blows, day 3, you just can't admit that it's dog shit. Dog shit. And the way they pushed it was the worst. If you look at Sisson, which Mark Sisson's a nobody compared to these grifters. Okay, Mark Sisson, the old school keto guys, because of course what they did is they took carnivore, which is literally a pile of protein, a pile of fat, heart attack city macros, and then they're like, oh, but ketovore is a little softer version. No, the hardcore version was the old school ketogenic diet, which is like 10% protein, dummy. That keeps your blood sugars through the floor and might keep you out of heart attack city. Maybe. With the vegetables. Maybe. Okay, but I do not push that anymore myself. But that would be what Mark Sisson's been doing for years. If you listen to him or some of these old school keto guys, the protein was rock bottom. Okay, we're talking like under 100 grams compared to what Baker eats or some of these other jackasses. They're like 50-50 macros. 50-50 protein and fat. Heart attack city. Why? Because all that protein brings your blood sugars up to where in a presence of high fat, which is insanity. That's why I made jokes in the past about you might as well just be eating McDonald's burgers. And just trying to restrict the calories of McDonald's burgers. Truth be told, McDonald's quarter pounders, without the mayonnaise, if you kept the fat down, the patties, the McDonald's patties aren't too slopping with oil. A McDonald's burger with the bun, trying to run the calories low, is going to be healthier, hands down, than your stupid ribeye steak diet. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Because the carbs are still going to keep your thyroid hot, and your fat intake's not going to be nearly as high. Not even close. I just got done making a video talking about fat grammage. If they actually did a damn study and they looked at some basic things, heart attack rate, look at the obesity, look at the people that are the skinniest. If they looked at that and compared the fat grams to the skinniest people on the, so you took, say you took 1 million people in the United States and you're a fly on the wall, they just ate the regular diet. The people that eat the least amount of fat grams are the leanest. I don't even need to see the study. I know. Because by default, they'll be eating the lowest calorie count and they'll have the hottest metabolism because their bloodstream's not drenched in dietary fat. So it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. If you took the fat grams on the day, the leanest people eat the least amount of dietary fat. Straight up. Okay? There's obviously going to be some outliers. Specifically, probably the odd person, like a 1 in 1 million people, that's doing something that I used to push back in the day was crazy low protein keto. But that comes with other negative side effects like tank testosterone, tank thyroid function. And you need to have a crazy amount of electrolyte because you dump electrolytes like mad. It's a therapeutic diet only for epileptics and shit like this. Very rare use case. This stupid carnivore diet, man. This shit, you see it now, go look. They're like, why are my blood sugars going way up on carnivore? Why? Look at Baker's blood sugars. The only reason he even keeps them half-assed down. Okay, not even close to ketogenic blood sugars like a true therapeutic ketogenic diet. Just because you're in ketosis doesn't matter. Okay, the ketones only basically aid the sugar anyway. You're still run on sugar. But you can be in a state of ketosis and the blood sugars are elevated and you're in a state of high fat, heart attack city. But Baker does enough exercise that he keeps his sugars probably down a lot lower than most of the fat pigs that are following him trying to lose weight because they ain't doing shit. His lifestyle greatly drops the negative side effects of his dog shit diet. Baker eats like shit. His lifestyle greatly drops how bad the negative effects would be of his dog shit diet. It's no different than Saladino. Saladino, and not to mention Saladino, shit. Didn't he write a whole book on carnivore? And now he's eating a pile of fruit? The thing about Saladino's diet is he still eats too much fat, but he gets away with it because he does a stupid amount of cardio every day, which isn't normal. He's an outlier. Stop talking about these fucking outliers. The regular Joe that's living a regular life is going to have the best blood flow, okay, the lowest amount of plaque in their arteries, okay, they're going to be the leanest by default, eating a diet that is low in fat. And if you don't even want to say low fat, we're talking lean meat. If we're talking food choice, lean meat, whole food carbohydrates. It's nothing new. If you go on the wild here where I live, there's no oil out there, man. You know what sucks? There's some YouTube channels that some women had up that were really talking about weight loss, like how to get skinny and using words like that. One girl, I think her name was Liz. She's like a model. She's skinny. And she was even talking about how she was going to go on a vegan diet, but didn't understand that the fat was the issue. And she was pounding a stupid amount of nuts, and she gained 15 pounds. Because nuts are shit. There's no shelled nuts in nature. Like, man, you'd be ripped if you had to sit there and shell nuts all day if you had a nutcracker. If you go a long enough time back, you wouldn't even have a fucking nutcracker. Where do you get this oil, you idiots? It drives me up the fucking wall when people are running their mouths about all this butter and shit. Before domestication of animals, there is no fucking oil. None. There's no eggs either. What are you going to do? Go get, oh yeah, let's see how many wild chicken eggs you're going to get out of the bush, you idiot. You would die. You would starve to death if you had to live off chicken eggs out. Like, man, I grew up out in the sticks. You know how often we ran into just a nest of wild chicken eggs? Never. It's not like you're buying them off the shelf. That's domesticated chickens. It doesn't even make sense to eat the eggs. Because you would just end the lifeline of the chicken. Makes no sense. The diet inherently is going to have like no added oil to it. Whatever's in the lean meat you're eating, when you got the lean meat. So there's that as well. So you might have the odd person, some poor place, get some fish, and you guys look at the fish like at face value, it happens to be a fattier piece of fish, but the general amount of fat grams on the day is nothing. It's nothing. It's like, okay, for example, imagine I had 2 cans of herring. Imagine that's all the meat I had all day was 2 cans of fucking herring. That canned herring's pretty fatty. It's pretty fatty per how many calories are there. But still, 2 cans of herring is only 20 grams of total fat. So if I only got 2 cans of herring all day for my protein, the rest of the protein was coming from, this is how they eat in the poor countries a lot of times, the rest of the protein's coming from starch. My fat grams are rock bottom. It doesn't matter that you had a little fatty fish, idiot. It's the grams on the fucking day. Like, why can't people get this simple math through their head? These fat people are eating hundreds of grams of fat a day. Okay, these stupid carnivore cult leaders, man, they're pushing a macro split on people that is going to end them up having a fucking stroke. Heart attack city! Baker! Like, even look at Ken Dad Bod Berry, man. This guy's gut is huge. Okay, this guy's gut looks like a turtle shell. Okay, the front of him looks like the back of a Ninja Turtle. Like, what the hell's wrong with him? His liver, his gut, he looks bad. He looks bad. And and it's funny. It's funny, both those jackasses. Sean Dad Bod Baker and Ken Dad Bod Berry. Both of them they always say ketogenic diets. I can't stand that. They're not pushing anything that even remotely resembles an old school therapeutic ketogenic diet. You know who is actually still? Again, the energy is not great, but that Stephanie keto person, the way she eats is a keto diet, the way it was done properly. Okay, low ass protein, vegetables, fat. Okay, but still the energy's not there. You can see it. Okay, why would you gamble with a high-fat diet when the fat doesn't even exist out there like that? The poor man's diet's the way to go. It's cheap. Okay, the high-fat diet costs a fortune, man. It's a ripoff. That's why they pushed it for 30 years. Fat is a scam. Fat is a scam. You can get a bag of potatoes, 10 pounds for $10. Bag of rice. Okay, you can get beans and then just throw them in water. Okay, you can get away if you really wanted to be really poor and still build muscle like crazy. You can get away with a small amount of meat and a stupid amount of starch. The skinniest people eat the lowest amount of fat grams. Okay, that doesn't mean that you might have some people eating 50 grams of fat and stay lean because they're good at just yanking the calories down. Is that ideal metabolically? No. That's why bodybuilders never did that shit. On a cut, they cut the fat out. Metabolism stays hotter. But can you do that? Yeah. But even at 50 grams, shit, there's bodybuilding coaches that don't go lower than 40. That's what they would call low fat. I get it. Like some of these fruit vegans I show you, that's the most extreme. But they also get down to 50 pounds. Okay, zero fat diet on fruit. It's always the same. He who eats the least amount of fat grams loses they get the leanest, they get the lightest. They get the skinniest. Look at those Kenyan runners and shit. Like their VO2 max is insane. Okay, their body's literally like a human radiator. Because their blood is so close to the surface of their skin, they can get rid of heat so quick. That's why they're in such good shape. That's why it's always better. If you live in a hot climate, it's actually really easy to get slim. That's the one thing that sucks where I live in the winter. It's colder than hell. Okay, if you're outside, you feel it. If I'm like, say, 165 versus 175, 180, it's night and day how much colder I am. But when you live in a climate that's hot, shit, it's a joke to like keep the weight just off in general because you're not even cold. You almost have an excuse to have 10 pounds of fluff on your hair, but that's measly 10 pounds of fluff. It's not like 300 pounds and shit. Fat ass pegs. Okay, these guys are, man, you people are getting scammed into a heart attack. Okay, Klitz, you could see in that video he made, man. Klitz, Dr. Klitz, he was scared. When he got that CAC stand back, he was scared. Why do you think these stupid-ass carnivore MDs, or even some of them, well, Baker, Baker's in denial. But why do you think the old guy was getting the CAC scan even done? Because they don't trust their fucking diet. You think somebody eating a clean, low-fat, clean-ass diet is going to even worry about getting a CAC scan? No! Why would you? Why would you? Do you think they're going to be worried about getting their cholesterol and shit checked? No! Why? There's no point. That shit, the thing that leads people to getting all this blood work done is fear. And back in the old days, really, before people got morbid as hell, it would have been people like maybe on gear, on steroids and shit that might have got some blood work done because they're scared a bit. All the fat, it's post-World War II, really. The first real diet craze that was there to help you actually lose weight and get your health back was a low-fat diet craze of the early 90s. It wasn't a scam. It turned into that when people started pushing high-fat bullshit and people started selling things called low-fat that are actually like Bazel margarine and shit because people seen there was money to be made. But when it started, it was to help people. It was a clapback to an obesity epidemic that was already happening post-World War II. Because all the tech that came out of the war allowed us to make crazy amounts of butter, oil, not just the seed oils either, all of it, you idiots. Like, it's such a no-brainer. When you're taking in a stupid amount of fat, it thickens your blood, and the fat's in the blood still. if you got any sort of inflammation at all, okay, that's a heart attack. See, that's the plaque buildup right there. That is why it was so important to have the protein rock bottom if you're even trying to run a high-fat diet. These guys hijacked basically what Mark Sisson used to promote. These assholes hijacked that and turned it into this fucking scam. Okay? And I'm not going to get behind that old school keto diet. Ain't going to give you a heart attack either, but I know that it's going to be a lot more reliable when the protein's rock bottom with the carbs. There's a reason that it called for 20, 30 grams of carb. Zero carb is substantially worse health-wise than 20 or 30 grams of carbs from vegetables. There's a difference there. That 30 grams of carbs does something with your thyroid. Okay, even maybe a bit of liver glycogen. Like, these guys are grifters straight up. That steak and butter bitch, she makes so much money off these women, because I know women that have came to me for help. They just gave money to this dummy. Okay? All of them, they all have their stupid books. They all got their cherry-picked studies that are bullshit. It's an experiment, for fuck's sakes. They make it sound like, yeah, man, people have been eating like this forever. Bullshit, they haven't been eating like that. The only people that would even be forced to eat a high-fat diet like that are the fucking Eskimos, which that isn't even normal. That was just a bunch of idiots that left the equator because men are idiots and stoic as hell. So it's like, let's go conquer more of the earth. So they end up in fucking the Arctic. And it's a lesser environment. It's a worse environment. That's why their lifespan's a joke compared to people that were eating a low-fat diet on the equator. And their genetics are dog shit. It's such a stupid example. It's all I hear. What about the Eskimos? What about the Eskimos? How many Eskimos are winning the 100-meter fucking dash? None. All right? They're literally trying to live for their life depended on it. That's such a dumbass example. And then then people are bringing up how we were carnivores and all this bullshit. I don't even need to get into that crap, because at the end of the day, the results are slapping us in the face right now. And not to mention, humans would have evolved since then anyway. Okay, if we came from apes, the apes would have been eating a pile of fucking goddamn rubbish. They're eating a bunch of fucking low-fat plants. I believe, truthfully, we evolved and we were able to cook starch. That's what made us so smart, was the ability to cook starch. That's what made us smart. And then we would have evolved for sure. We're way smarter now than we were. Why did they go back to what about the Neanderthals and shit, ooga booga, dumbass, low IQ? How can you compare this old shit compared to now anyway? We're way smarter. Because we learned how to cook starch and feed our brains a whack of sugar. You cut the fat out of the diet. You know how much energy it takes to turn carbs into body fat? Like a pile. That's why your metabolism runs so hot. That's why you'll see some of these low-fat vegan women are getting away with 3,000 calorie a day diets and staying slim. Because they're running hot. They're running hot, and they look way hotter too, you fat-ass pigs. If some of them just added in a little bit more starch, a little bit of lean meat, their bodies are tight. Okay, fat asses. And then people are like, what about my hormones? How many times am I going to see that stupid comment from some fucking idiot with an IQ of 60? Fat people are fat. The reason your hormones are so fucked up, I learned from the menopausal women that were eating a stupid amount of fat. No carbs. Fatter than hell. Thyroid's fried. As soon as I got them to cut the fat right out and eat lean meat and carbs, they started getting lean. Your hormones will get tanked the worst when you cut carbs out of the diet, you morons. The amount of fat you would actually need in that diet when you're lean. Fat people don't need any. You could run a zero-fat diet. You've seen guys like that Spud Fit guy and shit run straight potatoes for what did he lose? Almost 200 pounds on potatoes? Once you get lean, it matters more. But it's still, the fat would be like, literally like a supplement. Like everybody always says, oh, what about your hormones? But nobody says an actual fat grammage. It's low as hell. If you're eating lean meat, shit, honestly, I'll tell you right now, you could, if you're eating a lot of starch and beans and potatoes and shit, you could run a vegan diet. Okay, you could, actually, more and more fat people, when I'm trying to get a big amount of pounds off them, just so they don't screw up and grab fatty meat, just so they don't screw up and grab a bunch of fatty meat, I could dumb it down and get them to run a straight starch-based vegan diet until they lose 300 pounds. And then maybe have meat. Shit, they could eat lean meat once every fucking month. That'd be their B12 injection. Once you're lean, you play. You can do whatever the hell you want. But I'll tell you right now, you can build muscle like crazy. A lot of times, the reason the vegans get low on malnourished on, let's say, B12 or some of these stupid talking points like protein and shit, because they're just not eating enough food. You look at the people, they're losing weight too quick because the diet's a weight loss diet. That's how good it works. They're just not eating enough food. If you want to build muscle on a vegan diet, you just make sure you're not in a state of weight loss. If you're in a good body weight, you smash in potatoes, rice, beans, and shit. You kidding me? You eat enough, you're building muscle. You're not going to lose fucking muscle eating a stupid amount of carbohydrate, and you'll get plenty of protein, and the calories are there. I digress. Okay, but what I'm saying is you could run that diet. You could knock the meat right the fuck out just to make it a no-brainer. If you want the fat as low as you can get it. And then when you get leaner, you play around with your lean meat. Or have lean meat very infrequently. If you want to get rid of your fucking clogged ass carnivore arteries, okay, and you're like, if you went straight starch and just a little bit of lean meat here and there, and you want to drop weight radically quick and still have crazy energy and like wicked muscle glycogen, like huge carb loading, eating in sheer abundance, you could easily run that plant-based diet. And then once you get lean, you eat lean meat, like whatever your goal is. Your arteries are fucking clogged. Listen to stupid Baker. Like, it's so experimental. People get see, here's where they scam you bad. Because it's an elimination diet, people will have some issues because they have whatever problems just from bad lifestyle from before. You know, maybe gut problems or whatever. Maybe they drink way too much coffee on an empty stomach. Skin problems, maybe because they're all matted up. Or maybe they smoked or their body fat's full of drugs and toxins. All this shit. They'll get some results that way. They'll be like, oh, this is gone or something like that's gone because of the elimination part of it. In trade for plaque. Arterial plaque. Like, that's the whole thing. But that's how these stupid jackass carnivore MDs will snag you. You'll get too caught up in these other symptoms going the way, and you're destroying your cardiovascular health. Okay, when all you need to do is just get general fucking weight loss. Like, a lot of these fat pigs are just so stupid that they'll get some quick weight loss, and they'll think the diet's magic when they could have did that on a meal-a-day diet eating fucking McDonald's. Avoiding the fat. They get so caught up, they think it's magic. I get it. Because they're so passionate, because they might have had some ailment that was bugging them for years, but they give that diet all the credit. And another thing, when Baker, that Limitless Lindy, when Baker and them are just basically exploiting her to make money, these fucking cockroaches, that woman got no credit for her insane willpower and discipline to run such a stupid diet. She was eating a meal a day and a one ribeye. Like, but no, it was the carnivore diet. That's what they said on Rogan and shit. She got like no credit. She got no credit for running a dumbass, jackass, crazy shitty adherence diet for long enough to lose like a lot of weight, but she's still a fat ass because she's in Salt City, her thyroid's tanked, and now she needs to cut the fat out of the diet to actually get skinny. Because now she's just in heart attack city. It's like if you're 800 pounds and lost 500 and now you're 300 and now you're eating a high-fat diet and you're stalled at 300, you're just a fat pig eating a high-fat diet, you're going to die. But this woman got no fucking credit from these stupid grifters. Okay, from stupid Sean Muffin Top Baker. It was all the diet, right, Baker? Right? Right, Baker, you idiot? It was all the diet. That Lindy lady had nothing to do with it, with having insane willpower and discipline to run a crazy deficit on your stupid fucking diet. This is it. It's always like this. They always give the diet the credit, and never any of these people, like, could you imagine these same people if they were steered in the right direction? Like, imagine that Lindy, if she would have been steered in the right direction on a good quality, low-fat, clean diet, she would have still been losing weight today, not just going MIA. All of them, anybody that gets a half-assed result, they blow it up, and then they take more of your fucking money, and the person that got the result was just insanely disciplined and had a crazy amount of fucking willpower. Okay, just like the other guy, I think that Bill Knott, I haven't seen his shit for a while. They just give him no credit. You know how much fucking willpower and discipline it takes to run that dog shit diet like that? Like, even compared to, say, Mark Sisson or the old school keto diet where you're running low protein, high fat with the vegetables, that carnivore diet is stupid. The adherence is so bad. But you know how the internet works. If you get one person that's just bulletproof tough that uses that dumbass diet, and because it's so radical, it creates this cult following. And this is what they did with that Lindy. So you got the radical diet, you got a big weight loss result. She never got lean, though. They just dwell in the pounds and not actually getting to the fucking goal line. Where you see these freaking, you see these low-fat people, they're all lean, all right? They get lean. Shit, they get too lean. They get so lean, in fact, they can end up in the ground. They get down to 50 fucking pounds. That one woman that passed away, which Sean Baker just mocks these vegans, when he should be like, geez, these vegans, before they did pass, maybe they know a thing or two about weight loss. But instead he just mocks them, and you know damn well everybody following this idiot wants to lose weight and isn't, because the diet blows, and only one in a bazillion people would have the discipline to lose any real weight. And he just mocks that shit instead of saying that, geez, maybe we should cut the fat out of this diet, add in some starch, and eat a proper diet and lose weight. But he redirects, and he's like, you're healing. You're healing, Limitless Lindy. You're healing. Fuck. Yeah, healing. And, your optimized body weight, Ken Dad Bod Berry would say. I love that. They know that diet's so shitty for weight loss, which is why, like, 99.9% of people are even trying it. There's people trying that carnivore diet. They're already doing a better diet to start with. That's the real crazy part. That's how powerful, that's how bad the extremism is on the internet and YouTube with these stupid fucking diets. People would be doing a decent diet, getting a result, and they're like, oh, there's the grass is greener over here in this scam-ass carnivore land. Let's scrap our diet that actually has variety, that's giving me a good gut biome, and fuck our stomach up like Sean Baker fucked up his stomach. Sean Baker's gut is fucked. He can't eat anything without issues now. Okay? He can't eat shit. He can't even eat a fucking potato and fucking salad without getting so plugged up, he's got to get his colon down there jackhammered out. Fuck. He almost had to get his colon jackhammered out by Arnold Schwarzenegger on Total Recall. Fuck. This guy is so full of shit. And they've just gotten worse and worse and worse. Like, they've just gotten more and more and more fucking insane and fucking just complete fucking sociopathic bullshit. It's crazy what the money will do to you, man. It's crazy what that money will do to you. It's gotten to the point they just don't give a fuck. Okay, like, I guarantee you that people are probably shitting on Klitz. People are probably shitting on Dr. Klitz, be like, oh, it was the carbs he was eating. Or what's this other bullshit I see going around? Oh, it was the poison butter. No. Klitz just smartened up. Klitz knew, like, what the fuck was the CAC scan numbers were insane. Like 700-800? That's like a walking fucking heart attack. Like, you can't ignore that. That's nuts. Or some of these people with, like, oh my God, their cholesterol numbers are insane high. They're in such denial. That one, oh man, if they have an issue, if it's a good sized YouTuber, the carnivore MDs will just redirect and say, well, I don't know, it was this and that. They had nothing to do with the diet, though. It was this and that, and it was that one donut they had in 1967 at their wedding. Like, they just make up this fucking bullshit. And all the fatty meat is so expensive, too. It's like the lean shit's the cheap shit. The lean meat's the cheap stuff. And you only need it in moderation. If you're getting in the starch. Like I said, if they did a study and they took everybody that's having heart attacks, all the people's weights, how much they weigh, and then just compared it to the amount of grams of fat they're eating on the daily, the people with the least heart attacks and obviously the lowest weight will coincide with the lowest heart attack rate, hands down. The lightest people will be eating the least fat grams. Generally speaking, the lightest people will be eating the least fat grams. All fats. All your healthy fats. Why? Because as soon as you knock the fat out of the diet, the metabolism's faster, and fat is 9 calories a gram. So by default, the fucking calorie intake's the lowest with the people that eat the least amount of fat. Obviously. Because people still chase, generally speaking, they're going to chase a high volume diet. So it takes a very disciplined person to run the calories low on a low volume diet, which would mean they're intaking more fat than they should be. So they're going to be an outlier. They're going to be an outlier with a lot of discipline. Okay, they're going to be your calorie counter with a lot of discipline that's trying to eat just a loose diet. And don't get me wrong, there's people that'll eat like that their whole life and fucking live a long time. But most people aren't going to fucking do that. They're going to chase, they need more volume. They need potatoes without the fucking butter. Okay, they need bread without the fucking goddamn butter and peanut butter all over it. It's not hard. Okay, and then people also forget when we're having these conversations, the spectrum of weight, of how fucking fat you are. So I'll say something like something about, oh, you don't need any fat in your diet. And then people will be like, resting, they'll bring back the stupid hormone argument. What about my hormones? Do you think fat people need any fat in their diet when they got a fucking 1,000,000 calories of fat on their gut, you idiot? Once you're lean, you play. Obviously, if you're a fruit vegan that grinded your body weight down to 50 pounds, which just goes to show how high the adherence is on the fucking carbs. Just to be able to get to 50 pounds. Have you ever seen anybody on a high-fat diet get down to 50 pounds? No? Maybe learn from that extreme. Be like, which diet has produced the absolute lightest human being on the fucking planet? Low fat. None of the women with the eating issues or any of them none of them are entertaining dietary fat. If you go down to the dark side and you start looking up what they're eating, it's like straight vegetable, lean-ass can of tuna, and they're usually abusing stems. But they're skinny as a rail. They're sure as hell not adding fat. Like, don't you even watch that? What's that movie, To the Bone, with Keanu Reeves and that Lily Collins? Right away, remember the sisters asking her how she had, like, calorie Asperger's? Like, you know what Musk has, Asperger's? And she's asking her how much calories is in all the shit. All the women with eating issues know the calorie count like the back of their fucking hand because they know what gets the results. When you're trying to go to fucking goddamn Bone Town, you listen to people that are in Bone Town. It's like, if you're trying to get to Bone Town, maybe you should go to Bone Town for a visit and see how to get there. Every one of those women knows what the calorie count on everything is. So you think they're throwing fucking olive oil on their fucking bread? Give your head a shake. You're so mediocre. That carnivore diet is so weak. When I look at people that are like just religious about that, I just look at them like they're pigs. You're a fucking pig. You eat like shit. Okay, your diet is dirty. Honestly, if you show me somebody counting calories eating McDonald's, just using the calorie counts on the thing, and their general food intake was fairly light, I would look at that person like they have crazy ass eating discipline compared to some jackass that's just smashing ribeyes, hoping to lose weight. These people, that, my fat fucking friends, is another one of the hooks they get you with. Oh, look at what Baker does all the time. His stupid videos, he's got a fucking machete like he thinks he's Jason fucking Voorhees. And he's eating this tomahawk that costs like $200 now. Okay, like, again, so that, oh man, there's another thing. How can the general public even eat that diet, Baker, you idiot? And then they actually try to make fun of poor people. They're like, yeah, these peasants can't afford it. Yeah, guess what? The fat-ass kings are the ones that died, you fat pig. That's how you know a diet's a scam, when you can't even afford to buy the goddamn diet. You can't even afford his diet. Shit. It's like, geez, I had to get a second job to go carnivore. I had to get a second job to go carnivore. Such bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. Okay, these guys scam you so bad. So bad, man. Okay, the price and the way they leverage these people that are in their groups and take advantage of them. And then they try to get you to, oh my God, we'll try to get you to buy fucking some bullshit. Oh, man, you got to, even Saladino, why do you think he jumped ship? He even said all the symptoms. His thyroid function was shit. His testosterone was dropping. All this fucking shit was caused by no carbs. Okay, all this shit was caused by cutting the carbs out of that diet. Like, no one wants to listen. They just close their ears. They just close their ears. Close your ears, yeah. Fucking stroke, heart attack city. Okay, these guys are going to give you a fucking heart attack. But what do? You can only lead a horse to water, man. Okay, like, I literally coached a proper ketogenic diet that would have been a therapeutic diet, the way it was supposed to be coached back in the day. And I don't even coach that anymore, let alone this bullshit these guys push. Okay, the numbers, it's just the weight loss results are mediocre at best. The energy's dog shit, especially with the menopausal women. That's when I really started to see real bad problems. Okay, you can have some young girl that's eating a bunch of meat and fat and fruit, and fuck, they're active and young, they're all burning it. Like that one girl what the hell's her name? Lily Kane. Okay, like she's a young kid, basically. Like, fuck. She's a bad example of anything. If you want to use an example, use clits. Okay, this girl, she's eating fruit too and shit now. She's eating a regular fucking diet. But they always had to use carnivore to still make money. And then she's young and active. She's going to burn off a shitty diet. Her diet would give the average fat pig that comes to me for coaching diabetes. So would Saladino's diet. The oldest people are always slim. So the diet that gets you the slimmest is going to have the best chance of getting you the most age. Living the longest. Combined with the oldest people are always eating a low-fat diet because obviously the risk of heart attacks is the lowest too because they're the oldest. The oldest people eat the least amount of fat grams. The oldest people eat the least amount of fat grams. Okay, like it would be so easy. They could prove this so easy. But it's not just carnivore. It's not just them grifters. It's everybody that's selling you this high-fat shit. They don't want to show you this. How easy would that study be to do? Just even the weight one. The one with the weight. You take 10,000 people, random ass people, skinny all the way to morbid obese. You just let them eat their regular day-to-day. And you got somebody there to track their shit. And the fat grams, guaranteed, generally speaking, will be the lowest with the leaner side, the highest with the pigs. It just won't change. Look at how many people are stalled on that carnivore diet that are like not even close to a proper body weight. Okay, like the woman that they pumped up, Limitless Lindy. Okay, Limitless Lindy, she's stalled to beat hell on a zero carb diet. You know damn well these people too, that diet sucks so bad, there's no sustainability. They're off eating a pile of fat and shuttling it with what would have been quality carbs. Now they're fattened up shit, like potatoes and butter. Now that's shit, where potatoes are gold. Because these stupid carnivore MDs, they won't ever teach somebody that, geez, maybe these carbs are actually good if you just cut the fat out of the fucking carbs. Because then that completely ruins their whole stupid grift. Because they gotta sell the carbs like it's like cake and pizza and shit. They can't ever fucking separate the fat from those carbs. Because that would mean their diet is flawed. Because if the fat is causing the problem with adding it with the carbs, then the fat's the problem, isn't it? Because you're never gonna tell human beings to not eat the carbs. Because now there's no adherence because that's not natural. That's not natural at all. Okay, why do you think, like I said, even that Lily Kane, Klitz, Saladino was like the first one of the grifters to swap. They all added carbs back in. Except they're still eating way too much fat. Saladino outburns it. Klitz better change his diet because he's going to have issues if he doesn't get rid of that fat because he's not going to be outburning that. And that young girl, Lily Kane, outburns it. It'll bite you in the ass, man. It's a regular standard American diet at that point. Shit. It's a sad diet. You're eating the sad diet. But the funny part is the old standard American diet, the old pyramid, was almost bang on. The old food pyramid they always shit on. They always shit on it. It was bang on. Low fat, starch, and fruit and shit in the bottom and vegetables. And then at the top would have been your meat. And the fats in like the tiny little triangle. That was right. That was right. You want to get skinny, you cut the fat out of the fucking diet. Simple as that. You just throttle the fat. If you want to get fat, drown all your carbohydrates in fat. And if you want to get fat and blow your whole bank account, go carnivore and have a heart attack. I remember somebody else said too, it's like, I bet more people that eat carbs had a heart attack than eating carnivore. You moron. How many people are eating clean carbs, you idiot? That was the stupidest statement known to man. Okay, the people are, it's the fucking fat, yes. the carbs that are latent with fat. Okay, the carbs clean are clean. You're not getting... Man, the heart attack rate, this is like how you unclog your fucking arteries. Is with a diet that's crazy low fat. And because you're fat, you don't got to worry about your hormones. All these people are full of fucking shit. To find the truth is essentially free, all right? That will always lead you to the truth if you're trying not to spend a dime. Okay, if you're not poor, if you're poor, eat like you're poor. If you're not poor, eat like you're poor. Eat like you're fucking poor. And you have the best health known to man. The best health known to man. These jack-offs, man, they really do try to be like, oh, well, peasants eat like this. Well, guess what? Peasants live longer than those fat fucking kings, you moron. Fat-ass kings with their fucking cow's milk and their butter. Dead. Dead. Okay, heart attack, motherfucking city, Baker. Good job, Baker. Good job. And then clits. Like, that is a pretty big fuck up when a doctor is changing his tune from an extreme-ass high-fat diet he was pushing. Okay, like, these guys are doctors, right? I'm just a fucking idiot nobody. Common sense prevails. Like, man, they brainwash themselves. It's just this massive fucking circle jerk. When they have their stupid carnivore meetups, they just jerk each other off, brainwashing each other. It's crazy how greed can make you do dumbass things. Fear can make you do dumbass things. In Clint's case, fear helped him, but now he's got to get rid of the fucking stupid attitude where he's got to have fat on the potato. See that clip I put up of Clint's? It's like, well, we need to be more inclusive. And so he's like, I might have a potato and have some broccoli maybe, with lots of butter and sour cream on the potato. Jesus fucking Christ, Clits. Okay, your fucking CAC score is 800. Which you were getting out of fear because your diet you know is not nutritionally sound. Okay, nobody that's eating a clean, low-fat, whole foods diet is worrying about their fucking CAC score. Nobody. All these, you know what blew up blood tests? Seriously? You know what blew up getting all this fucking blood work? And now the mainstream, the fucking big pharma companies and shit really use blood work to sell you fuckers on your blood sugar lowering drugs and shit. Because you're so attached to the blood work. You know what blew up blood work even getting done? Your high-fat fucking diet. If you go back before Atkins started blowing up in like 97 because of all that scam with Vince McMahon and shit, nobody eating like Susan Powder, or if you go back even before that, 80s, low-fat bodybuilding diet like lean meat, whatever fat's in the fucking meat. We don't even have to say low-fat. Whatever fat's in the lean fucking meat. Nobody was getting fucking blood work unless they were literally a juiced up bodybuilder. The whole blood work craze, okay, came from a diet that people knew in their fucking gut was shit. All the blood work. What's your blood work? What's your fucking blood work look like? Because you're scared. Because you know intuitively that high-fat diet's fucking dog shit. So you gotta get your blood work to make sure you might not, to fucking hope to God you don't have a fucking heart attack or a stroke. That's what happened, man. That's why everyone's soul has such a big raging hard-on for blood work. Because the fat fucks up your blood work. Okay, as soon as people started tolerating all the dietary fat, the blood work gets fucked. And truthfully, I will say, when people tolerate a stupid amount of fucking goddamn refined sugar, that can also fuck your blood work up. You ain't gaining no weight on that, but it can fuck up your blood work. You know what's not fucking your blood work up? Lean meat. Lean meat. Whole food fucking carbohydrates, mainly starch with fucking fruit for fucking dessert. A regular fucking diet. You know what's not fucking up your blood work? Chicken or rice and fucking broccoli. Fuck. Starch gives you perfect fucking blood work. When the fructose gets in excess, it can fuck shit up. Okay? But it ain't gonna fucking cause you a goddamn heart attack. The only people that ever have a fucking heart attack that are on a zero-fat fruit diet are people that got down to 50 fucking pounds and just got so low in electrolytes that they fucking had some electrolyte imbalance or something that gave them a heart attack. Get fucking real. The reason all the blood work blew up and everyone's like, blood work this, blood work that, blood work this, blood work that. Two things. Now, it was just a high-fat bullshit. Because everyone deep down is scared fucking shitless of doing these high-fat diets. Secondly is the steroid epidemic. Steroid epidemic is making people get a lot of blood work because they don't want to be fucking... Which, you know what number they look for in the blood work? When they're on juice that they don't want elevated? Is the fucking cholesterol. Because that's when fucking the drugs bring your cholesterol through the roof. And how many of the fucking big pro bodybuilders you know over the last how many years died? Okay, because the steroids fucking fuck with your cholesterol bad. Bad. So now that's an issue when you're a bodybuilder, but somehow magically, if you're on stupid Sean Muffin Top Baker's fucking carnivore bullshit, it's not? How does that work? How the fuck does that work? Listen to me. The fucking proper food choices, you idiots, is lean-ass fucking meat, whole food fucking starch, and some fucking fruit for dessert and fucking vegetables. Until next time, if you want to get skinny and you don't want to have a fucking heart attack or a stroke, you cut the fat the fuck out your fucking diet.